Okay, C has two different terms multiplied by each other. So definitely you have to make use of the product rule. Okay, differentiate the first, keep the second. Then we differentiate the second, itself being an exponential term, copy the bracket term for the ln, put it at the denominator, differentiate the denominator, we should get 1. Then remember to keep the first term. Then we just have to simplify it. Am I right to say this is your dy dx? Okay, that's the first part of the question. Am I right? So please remember, find dy dx. So that's the first question. Underline your first answer. Okay, because they ask different things. Hence, determine the coordinates of stationary point. Can you recall when we have stationary point, what can you tell me about the gradient? The gradient must be equal to 0. And there are 3 kinds of stationary point that will give gradient being 0. What are the 3 kinds? Okay, there's point of inflection, there's minimum point, there's maximum point. Okay, in question 1, are we required to find what kind of stationary point? No need. They just say determine the coordinates. That's all. Alright? So no need to go and find. So let us solve for dy dx is equal to 0. Why? Because we have stationary point. Take note. Is it stationary point or stationary points? Singular or plural? Singular, right? So you only expect one stationary point. Okay? You expect only one stationary point, but coordinates, because x and y. So I'm going to start solving now. So 3 ln x plus 3 must be equal to 0. Okay, how do we start solving? I need to make x the subject, right? So what do we do with the positive 3? Balance on the right hand side. It becomes a negative 3. We can divide by 3 on both sides. It becomes a negative 1. Okay, recall the meaning of ln. What's the meaning of ln? Log to base e. Okay, let me write by the side. Ln x is the same as log x to base e. Alright, e has a value. Okay, so I'm going to write log x to base e equal negative 1. Okay, now from logarithmic form, we have to convert to index form. Okay, what is the base? E. Am I right? What is the power? Negative 1. And the main term will always remain. Correct? The base term, the power term, and the main term. So actually, we already found x. If you want to, you can also write 1 over e. Up to you. Okay, now, is this the only answer? No, they want the coordinates. So we need to find the y coordinate. Please substitute your x into the original y. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Y equal to 3 e to the power negative 1 ln e to the power negative 1. Okay, because I don't want to press the calculator, I want to write in exact form. Okay, remember, the power term for ln, I can bring down the power as a constant value. Am I right? So, let me highlight. This is the power. This is a ln. It only belongs to e. So, I can bring it down as a constant value. Negative 1 ln e. Can you all recall what is ln e? It's just 1, right? What's the meaning of ln e? Log e to base e. Alright, even if you don't want, you can press the calculator, you just get 1. Am I right? So in other words, what I get is just negative 3 over e. You see, I try to avoid writing too many decimal. But they never say must give in exact form. Okay, but I refrain from writing too many decimal, so I make unnecessary careless mistake. And please write the coordinates. Or like in your WA, some of you found the answer but never write the coordinates. Please write down the X as well as the Y coordinates of the stationary point. Again, for question 2, I need to apply product rule for finding the first derivative. Differentiate the first, keep the second. Differentiate the second, keep the first. Do you all get this answer? It should look something like that. Same as the previous one, because it's stationary value. Alright? The gradient is equal to 0 because of the word stationary value. So, the first derivative is equal to 0. I say again, please use the F word. F for factorize. Okay, what are the common terms? The exponential term, right? Okay, let me factorize the exponential term. Then let me tell you, it will definitely be much easier. Why? Because the moment you factorize, we can make use of the zero product rule. Okay? So, this means that the first one is equal to 0, or the second one is equal to 0. Okay, let me do the easier one. Why? Can I learn 0? Can you press the calculator? Is it possible to learn 0? No. Confirm and A. So I do the easier one already. Okay, now I need you to recap how to do the solving for the trigo equation. Okay, recall is solving of trigo equation. You need to make use of reference angle. You also need to make use of ASTC. Am I right? Okay, but there's only one answer. Why? I don't need to worry too much. There is they only want x to be between 0 and pi over 2. What's pi over 2? 90 degrees. So we only want answer in which quadrant? First quadrant. No need to worry about other quadrant. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next, how to do the solving? Please don't go and use the formula. It can be very simple. I told you all before, if it's equal to 0, and it works only because it's equal to 0. There's sine, there's cosine. But I only want a single trigo term. The easiest way is to divide everything by cosine 2x. That's the easier one. What is sine divided by cosine? What is sine divided by cosine, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, so the first term, I have a tangent 2x. How about the second one? Plus 2. Is it plus 2? Does it become plus 2? Is it like that? Tangent 2x equal to negative 2. Okay, we can start solving from here. Recall, if I want to solve for x, so all the information are there. Take note, I need to find the reference angle or basic angle. Tangent inverse. Take note, can I use negative 2? No, I must use the absolute value positive 2. Must always be positive. Whether is it negative or positive, it just determines which quadrant it lies in. So, let me press the calculator. Tangent inverse of 2. Let me write a few more decimal first. 1.1071. Okay. Do you think it should lie in the first quadrant? Why not? Because tangent is negative. If tangent is negative, which quadrant does it lie in? The second or the fourth one? But do we need to be bothered with the fourth one? No need. That is why, like what Rufi said earlier on, let's check back the original range. 2x will only go up to pi. And 0 to pi means only the first and second quadrant. And tangent is negative means it must be in the second quadrant. So 2x in the second quadrant is pi minus 1.071. I'll get 2.0344. But remember, I need to find x. So please divide by 2. And then I estimate to 3SF. Okay, let me look back at the question. What did they say? They only want to find the x. Did they ask us to find the coordinates? No need. So this answer is good enough. So same thing, underline. After you construct your box for the first derivative test, do the working, then now you can conclude based on the graph, maximum point. Okay, then we are done. So there are 3 parts to this question. Alright, so after you found the first derivative, you find the x stationary value, and this will give you a maximum point.